Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a good one. Please, I'm sorry I'm a little bit more ugly than I usually am. I did shave. It's getting a little dry on the sides, so it's getting kind of annoying, but it will be back. I promise the beard will be back. But you'll have to bear witness to this ugly mug for a little bit. But if you need to avert your eyes, again, I understand. I say it every time. I wanted to talk about Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty Black Ops. We're going to throw in Arc Raiders in this because it's included in the article, but I mainly want to kind of talk about Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 because growing up, I am 34. Those are the two games, Call of Duty and Battlefield, that were always at each other's throats every year. Okay. I have always been a Battlefield fan. I've liked Battlefield a lot more than Call of Duty, especially now more than ever because Call of Duty was always pretty much the same game to me every single year. And it was more of an arcadey shooter, which I think kind of pandered to people who just wanted to kind of relax and play games, where Battlefield was always a there's a little bit more strategic elements in there with squad based play, gameplay, and playing your role and everything. And then they had the indestructible environments, which I really liked. So I did like both games, but I've always been a Battlefield fan over Call of Duty. So seeing that Battlefield has actually defeated Call of Duty in this war that they've had for the first time, and what I can think is probably the first time ever. I could be wrong about that. It makes my heart happy. But we're going to talk about Arc Raiders as well. I've not played Arc Raiders, but I hear it's really, really good. So I might try to include that in some gameplay if you would like to see that. This Normie tried to get through the world of Arc Raiders, but we're going to read this article here and we're going to kind of talk about what's going on, okay? So this is from Gaming Bible. This was written by Ollie Smith, and there's a lot of different articles in this. We're just going to read like one or two. I'll kind of just say whenever we stop, okay? But it is titled, this was published on the 16th of November, Battlefield 6 Arc Raiders clear winners over Call of Duty Black Ops 7 player numbers. Now, I really wish it was just Battlefield and Call of Duty. Once again, there was a Forbes article I was looking at too that only the Battlefield 6 wasn't included in that. And the reason why is those games, like I said, they've been at each other's throats forever. And Arc Raiders is kind of a different style of game where it's an extraction shooter, right? Where Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty have the multiplayer that everyone's familiar with. Yes, they have the BR modes and everything, but I think there's more to compare and contrast with Battlefield and Call of Duty than there is with Arc Raiders. Again, I've not played Arc Raiders, but I do think it's just an extraction shooter. So I wish this was just kind of left out, but we're going to talk about it. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 appears to have had a weaker launch than its predecessors, as the sequel lags behind in Steam player count numbers. Yeah, it's not looking good. In fact, let's go ahead and pull it up. Here is the Black Ops Steam charts right now. We see it peaked at 491,670. Right now, it has a current player count of 42,000, about 42,540, right? And its all-time peak, again, we just read. If we're comparing that with the other games, we see Battlefield 6 players right now, 99,000. Its peak was 747,000. Now this is just Steam numbers, okay? This isn't included with Xbox and PlayStation and stuff. And the Arc Raiders, which is the kind of the winner here consistently because they have a higher player count as of right now. Its all-time peak is lower than Battlefield's we see with a 481,000, almost 482,000, but it's got better reviews. It has more people concurrently playing the game than both Battlefield, which received kind of average reviews, mostly positive, and then there's Black Ops where we see it has a mediocre review of 58% pretty much. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of showcase those real quick. Excuse me. I hope that's not playing okay. So, Activision launched Call of Duty's Black Ops 7 earlier this week, and the game appears to already be landing itself in a spot of controversy. Dun dun dun. Steam players have already marked the game down for poor design, performance issues, as well as the apparent inclusion of AI generated art appearing for many of its in game assets. Now, I will say with AI generated art, this is something that's going to be controversial to a lot of people, and they may not like it. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's fine. I'm not a person who is against AI. I'm just not. I think it's overall a benefit. Um, I can see, trust me, I understand why people don't like it. They don't want it, but I don't have a problem with that. Okay. Now, the poor design performance issues, that's something else. Okay. You would expect a game to be finished when you get it. Now, at least I do. I grew up during the SNES, the Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2, 3. The games were finished when they were released, pretty much. We didn't have these day one patches and stuff like that. So it'd be nice if that, happened again, but apparently it's not going to. Now, despite how massive each Call of Duty launch week feels, it's certainly clear that players haven't taken too kindly to Black Ops 7 release. And the player numbers seem to also be reflecting this. We did, once again, look at it. The 24-hour peak, 74,000. Players right now, 41,000. You compare that to Battlefield, I mean, not even close, really, even with Arc Raiders. I mean, it's just not doing too hot with everything right now. On Steam, Call of Duty has managed to peak at 94,245 players since Black Ops 7 launched. These numbers come from SteamDB, which uses public data grabbed directly from Valve's servers, so it's the most accurate tool we have in terms of calculating this data for now. I kind of hope one day we'll get something that's completely accurate. One reason why is because you hear these corporations, Ubisoft, for example, telling us that these games are topping the charts and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, I would like to see the data behind that, please, because I don't believe you. But it continues. Compare this to last October when Call of Duty Black Ops 6 launched. Yearly releases, man. Where player number reached around the 300,000 in the month of October. Obviously, there's a few other things to consider. For starters, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is also available on Xbox and PlayStation, where the player count is likely to be dramatically higher. Yes, I think I said this earlier. With these three tabs, we don't know the player counts for Battlefield 6, for Arc Raiders, and for Call of Duty on consoles. We don't know them. I don't I'm not sure you can find them, but I'm not going to look for them right now. But it's probably a little higher, I would say, at least on consoles. There's also the fact that the game is available on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is available on both Xbox consoles and PC, which is where I'm getting my copy pretty much, because I'm not paying money for it. I'm going to tell you that. Well, I'm paying the subscription, but I'm not going to pay for the game. And let me tell you something. So, again, I had to kind of cut the camera because I was trying to find this picture. I took a screenshot of this, okay? And we see it requires 198.75 gigabytes. This was, for Call of Duty, the base game is 10 gigs pretty much. The multiplayer for the Black Ops 7 is 72 gigs. The co-op campaign is almost 71 gigs. Black Ops 6 Warzone, 77 gigs. Zombies for Black Ops 7, 60 gigs, almost 61 gigs. And there's also, it was for Black Ops 6 and Modern Warfare 3 or 2, I can't remember. There was a lot of stuff it wanted to install for me that I was like, we're not doing that. But I just ended up installing Call of Duty base game and the Black Ops 7 multiplayer, because I don't want nor need the other stuff. It's just, I think just these two alone were, with the Add-ons included, I think it was probably roughly 90 gigabytes, but it wanted to include like 3 different Call of Duty games. So I wanted to kind of throw that out there. But anyway, um, let's see. It continues. This is talking about it lagging behind, and I think this is the last thing we'll read. Now, Call of Duty lags behind Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders. Even keeping this in mind, it's clear as day that the Steam launch of Black Ops 7 hasn't moved the needle as dramatically as the previous entry did. No, it's been pretty consistently low, and I have not heard good things about it. Even with Battlefield 6, with the faults that Battlefield 6 have, people still enjoy it. For the most part, people like the gameplay. Battlefield fans seem to like it okay. The only complaints I've heard from Battlefield fans, and this is also coming from myself, is the maps are just small. They're just too small. There's a lot of cover in the maps, which one of the main criticisms with 2042 was there was no cover at all. But the maps are just way too small. It doesn't feel like they don't feel like Battlefield maps. Then you have the Portal XP farming, which we kind of figured was going to happen. That we're hoping, at least I'm hoping, I should say, that Portal becomes something a lot more significant than it was in 2042. I would like to see like actual customized maps from like games that aren't even Battlefield titles. But we'll see how Portal goes. I might make a video on things I would like to see created in Portal, but overall, the experiences in Battlefield 6 are more positive than they are negative. Call of Duty, I don't hear that. I just hear it from people who are um, Call of Duty fans, like fanboys. I guess you could say fangirls too. I don't know, but it's like, oh yeah, like they praise it to high heaven. There's nothing wrong with the game. Um, in Arc Raiders, again, I can't speak on Arc Raiders. And Arc Raiders may be eating into the long-time franchise's popularity. Battlefield 6, which is now just over a month old, still has 24-hour peak of 290,411 players on Steam. Arc Raiders, on the other hand, currently has a peak of 449,610 players in the same period. Another thing, too, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, please correct me if I am, but I think that the people behind Arc Raiders and the finals were old Battlefield devs, I think. That's just what I heard. Or I think I heard that. With so many FPS games and so little time to play them, it's obvious that fans are going to choose the game that appeals most to them. Exactly. Exactly. I don't want to play Black Ops 7. I'm going to do it just because it could help with content, I guess, and I want to experience it for myself. But I wasn't impressed with the trailer. It looked like it wasn't a Call of Duty game. It looks silly. It looks so silly. And I will say, I think I said it in that review of the trailer. I love the Call of Duty single player. I would buy Call of Duty just for the single player. I love the single players for Call of Duty, but I don't. This one looks stupid. It continues. Um, and like, why would you want to play a game if there's a better game out there? Like, why wouldn't you want to dedicate your time to that game? I mean, for me, like I work 8 hours Monday through Friday, and when I come home, I'm either dealing with my kids or I want to unwind playing a game that I enjoy. And you can't, like, with Call of Duty. I think the problem with Call of Duty is that they remain the same in some cases, but in this case, it's just kind of like they were pandering to an audience that doesn't really exist. And I feel like we kind of saw that with Warzone, and like they wanted to be like Fortnite almost with the skins and stuff that they were doing. Little strange. It's good to just stick to your roots, and I think that after this, they're going to go back to sticking to their roots. We'll probably see a World War II game next. Um, let's see. And with the various issues people have with this year's Call of Duty release, it seems Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders has disrupted Activision's plans of having the commanding shooter of the season. Yeah, because again, they have always. That's why I didn't want them to include Arc Raiders, because the competition's always been between Battlefield and Call of Duty. And Arc Raiders, just to me, I think it's just an extraction shooter. So I kind of wish they didn't include it, but it does go to show that there is other things out there that people are going to take interest in. But that's pretty much it for the article. This is pretty bad for not just Call of Duty and Activision, but Microsoft. Microsoft has been taking hit after hit after hit after hit. The last one before this was their price increases, and I'm trying to say, oh well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So because you can play Call of Duty when it comes out day one if you're an Ultimate subscriber or whatever. It's I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is a decision because Activision is owned by Microsoft now, right? So I don't know if this is a decision done by Microsoft or they were just letting them do whatever they want to do. I don't know, but it's sad to see for sure. I mean, the Call of Duty used to be really fun. I remember again just the single player campaigns themselves were so enjoyable. Like I even liked the the Modern Warfare 2, I think it was. A lot of I don't remember if there was one that people didn't like, but I enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it. But I've not been a fan of zombies. I don't play zombies. I don't play for the most part. If I play multiplayer, it's the conquest kind of multiplayer where you capture the objectives. Um, and that's pretty much it. Then I played Warzone, which I think they did a really good job with their battle royale. I do want to say that. But other than that, I didn't really care to play anything else on Call of Duty. And then it just kind of got silly with the skins. It started off serious, and then it kind of felt like they thought that they could never lose, and they could just do whatever they wanted. And they saw the success of Fortnite and decided that hey, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. But if you wanted to play Fortnite, you'd go play Fortnite. You're not going to get on Call of Duty to have like Fortnite skins on there, Fortnite dances, whatever it is. You want to play a Call of Duty game. You don't want to play a Fortnite clone. So I'm hoping at least next year, because I don't want to see Call of Duty fall off. I don't want that to happen. But I'm hoping they learn from this, because Call of Duty has been such a historic franchise forever. And again, the campaigns have been bangers. So I'm hoping that next release they take their time. For one, I don't want a yearly release for Call of Duty ever again. I never wanted that. I think yearly releases are dumb. Um, and then and I guess the main reason for that is how can I miss you if you don't go away? You know, uh, Look at Battlefield with 2042. They didn't release the next Battlefield game the following year. It took some time, and 2042 sucked, and I missed Battlefield a lot, because 2042 wasn't Battlefield to me. It was something completely different. So that's one reason why I loved Battlefield. I love Battlefield 6 so much, because I missed it so much. It's back, and even though it has some problems, I'm overlooking them for the most part because I missed it so much. I just wanted to see it. But if you're coming out with a yearly release and you're doing this nonsense, how can I miss you? You're not going to go away, and you're constantly coming at me with, you know, oh, here's my hat this year. Here's my hat this year. It's just stupid stuff. So I hope that they chill on the releases. They really, you know, sit down and think about what they want to release, how they want to release it, and what they want to do with the series going forward. Because it's just like a Madden game in a FIFA game. You're buying the same thing every year, just updated graphics slightly, and maybe a change in how you reload a gun. But that's pretty much all I have. I'm sorry this video lasted as long as it did, but I'm going to go ahead and go. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you did not like the video, thank you for staying around for so long. Hopefully, one day I can earn that like. But in the meantime, if you do like my content, please consider subscribing. I do all this for fun. I try to make a video at least once a week. I try to subscribe every not subscribe. I try to live stream every night. And as you can see, I do these videos kind of in real time. I don't read the articles before I do the video. I read them with you guys, so we're learning all this in real time. But that's kind of how these videos go, all for fun, and hopefully you guys can be along for the journey for that. But pretty much all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.